We saw the Caitlin Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans.
People were willing to pay up to see this preseason game. Has now set the new ticket price high for anything that Caitlin Clark, any game she has played in.
Can we all agree that Caitlin Clark's WNBA preseason is one for the record books? The ticket prices have gone up a notch as Clark broke yet another record, and Indiana Fever supporters are throwing money like it's the NBA Finals, but it's not preseason yet. Now that tickets have gone on sale, wallets are emptying like it was Black Friday at Amazon, and once more, Caitlin Clark is at the center of a sports moment, so it's likely still recovering. In this video, we're breaking down 5 records that she broke in half before the regular season had a chance to stretch.
Average paid price of $440 per ticket. Somebody moves the needle when people are willing to pay ginormous amount of money. Is that a word? A massive amount of money to see Caitlin Clark play ball.
Let's be clear, this was a glorified warm-up game, a preseason match, not some primetime matchup with championship implications. What made it different, though, was the excitement that made it feel like a Game 7. As Caitlin Clark on the court, the front office in Indiana is working like spies to create a grand scheme to make this team into a WNBA powerhouse, with Clark as its gem in the crown. It's a sporting coup, not a strategy.
The WNBA saw a boom like we have never seen. We saw Caitlin Clark come into the league. We saw the Caitlin Clark effect. We saw the influx in fans who flooded to the WNBA, and many of those were there for Caitlin.
Still pondering why this issue persists, we're going to analyze the precise moment Caitlin Clark made preseason basketball a national event. Here are the 5 records she recently broke. If you're already a CC fan, feel free to leave a record-breaking remark.
Caitlin Clark, in that, has become arguably the most influential basketball player in the world, both on the men's and the women's side.
Let's begin with the astounding $440 statistic. Fans were paying that much on average for tickets to see Caitlin Clark and the Fever play Brazil's national team in a friendly exhibition. But with Clark in the mix, it wasn't a casual affair. The venue was Carver Hawkeye Arena, her personal coliseum where she made college history, and ESPN picked up a WNBA preseason game for the first time ever, setting another record because when Clark plays, everyone watches.
Carver Hawkeye Arena is the most in-demand event involving Clark, with a quote average paid price of $440 per ticket.
Even more astounding is the fact that she broke her own record for the highest ticket average of $411, which was set during her now famous March 3rd game against Ohio State, where she broke Pete Maravich's all-time college scoring record. Now, we're here breaking those numbers during a preseason game, where some people go viral once Clark does it. Prices ranged from 146 nosebleeds to 6,000 courtside. And guess what? The arena sold out in 15 minutes. That's not a crowd, it's a movement.
Finding affordable tickets for the Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors. It didn't take long for them to be gone.
And don't forget that this is her second year in the WNBA. Most players experience a decline in attention following their first year, but Clark's fame has turned into a force that isn't peaking. Rather, it's a tectonic shift in who controls the excitement and power in this league.
Ain't nobody paying $8,100 to watch Angel Reese play ball, especially when there are tickets. There was a ticket available for $29. $29 to see Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky play at the LSU.
Clark is now in her own lane, and the scary part is that she's only getting better. The preseason hasn't even begun, and she's already distorting the league's economy. Returning to Iowa wasn't just sentimental, it was seismic, with national outlets like the Associated Press confirming that this was the highest average ticket price ever recorded for a basketball game across any level, men's or women's college.
They were all gone before general sale to the public even started. Clark and the Indiana Fever are returning to the University of Iowa for a WNBA preseason game against the Brazilian national team. That game is on May 4th.
Now let's examine the receipts. The team's ticket prices have changed so drastically since Clark moved to Indiana that it would make Wall Street gasp for away games this season. The average went up to $272 from $171 during her rookie season, which is a 59% increase in real life. At home, it's even more outrageous, going from $92 to $197, more than double that. It's not a bump, it's a boom. Clark is no longer just the most important player on the court. She may be the most financially necessary athlete in pro basketball today.
A lot of people say that Caitlin Clark moves the needle. That is wrong. She is the needle. She dictates. We all know what she's done on the floor. It's history, right? But off the floor, my goodness.
However, this change isn't coincidental. The Indiana Fever didn't just sign Clark and throw her to the wolves. Instead, they built around her, imagining it as creating the ideal laboratory for basketball innovation with Clark as the mad scientist. This isn't about potential anymore. Rather, it's about dominance. Enter Sophie Cunningham, who isn't just a shrewd vet. She is basketball royalty herself, and her choice to join the Fever was a public declaration of faith in Clark's superstardom.
Sophie Cunningham is pumped to play with Caitlin Clark, even comparing her new teammate to a WNBA legend.
In addition to praising her, she likened her to a younger Diana Taurasi. Yes, that Taurasi with the rings, medals, and granite heritage. Cunningham claimed that Clark's floor IQ and ball distribution resembled Diana Taurasi at her best, but she was more flamboyant, spicier, and somehow even more dangerous.
Anytime you play with the GOAT of our team, or the GOAT of our game, you're going to learn a lot. You know, you have to be ready for the ball, head on a swivel at all times. And the way that she throws the ball is a lot how DT threw it. I think this is just the younger version of her, so she has a little bit more energy, a little bit more spunk. I miss DT in her prime, but doesn't mean she wasn't great when I played with her. But honestly, at the end of the day, everybody can shoot, right? If you're cutting and you're open, you're going to get the ball. And so you just have to be ready for that. And I'm excited for that. And I think you'll see 1 through 5 is interchangeable. And so you'll see the 5 bring the ball down. So it's going to be a little different for other teams to play defense.
However, Dana Bonner, one of the few defenders who even somewhat slowed Clark down last season, joined Sophie as the first domino.
Felt the team was gelling, and how she felt about the addition of DeWanna Bonner. She basically said that when she talks, people listen, and she kind of wants to win it all for her. Here it is.
Givi's been tremendous, and obviously, not only as a leader, she's a tremendous basketball player too, and she's won championships. She knows what it is. So when she speaks, everybody listens. So I think that was a piece of the thing we were missing last year. It's we didn't really have that inside of our locker room. So just really grateful for that, and just the way she talks and she leads. For me as a second-year point guard, I want to win for her. This is the end of her career.
They added Brianna Turner, Natasha Howard, and Aaliyah Boston to the lineup to increase their firepower. Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Holvis is a rebellion and counterattack against the league's established powerhouses, not a roster. Indiana is currently in competition status after bypassing the rebuild phase.
Everything is just absolutely new. It feels really good. It feels fresh. It's kind of like when you take your clothes out the dryer, kind of like fresh. It just feels different, and it feels good because we have new leadership, we got new players, we got vet leadership, so I think all that combined just makes for a good atmosphere right now. It feels good.
How does that help you guys elevate even more for the players who are returning?
It makes it easier. I remember this time last year, it didn't feel good. So we have to get that in order for people to start playing well. It's like the domino effect. But I think once your culture is kind of established, how you guys see it now, I think it makes everything else way easier.
And the sports books concur that, according to DraftKings, the Fever are equal for second place with Indiana at plus 350, while Boulder is fourth in title odds at plus 380 FanDuel. If you're betting on this league, it's time to start using dollar signs to spell Clark. This isn't a Cinderella story. Rather, it's a squad that knows it belongs at the table, kicking open the front door.
So all the rookies are in Indiana. They were at the Pacers game, tossing out shirts with the rest of the team. So hot off the presses, the Indiana Fever have dropped a workout video, which has Bree Hall, it has Yvonne Ejim, and it has Michaela Timpson showing off their stuff with Caitlin Clark.
Oh, And did we mention the merchandise? Clark's jersey was the WNBA's top seller the previous season, and pundits anticipate that she will surpass her second best-selling jersey in WNBA history before the conclusion of her second season. Additionally, the Fever are witnessing a surge in merchandise, including hats, posters, and bobbleheads. Every time Clark appears at another arena, it turns into a fundraiser for the opposing team. She is more than simply a player. She is a walking stimulus package.
The next team, as we go through our WNBA preview, is the team that I know many of you are fascinated by. It's the team that I don't know what the odds are in the sports books up there in North Carolina, Mitch, but certainly nationally, the conversation when it comes to the WNBA surrounds the Indiana Fever, the second season of Caitlin Clark in the W, and how this team that's been retooled with a new coach, they've brought in some veteran players. You can make the argument they're in win-now mode, combined with that young core that they still have predominantly on rookie contracts.
We should go back in time. The Fever only won 20 games and finished the season with a respectable run, but nothing particularly noteworthy. Now they're being discussed as potential title candidates, and Caitlin is the reason for that change. She has become Indiana the WNBA's must-watch franchise. This is more than just basketball. It's a cultural event that serves as a reset button. Every game is sold out, every venue feels like home, and every stat line further confirms that we're witnessing the sport's next generational cornerstone. Whether it's shattering attendance records or attracting ESPN cameras to preseason games, Caitlin Clark is redefining what it means to be the face of a league by refusing to fit into the league's traditional model and creating something completely different.
The Indiana Fever are taking no prisoners this season, and they have just launched their new marketing campaign with the tagline, "Now you know."
The front office of the Indiana Fever didn't just pick Caitlin Clark and call it a day. They went all out. This isn't just a roster move, it's a franchise reboot, and they're not playing coy with one of the most daring marketing campaigns the WNBA has ever seen. Indiana is making it very clear that they're not requesting attention. Rather, they're demanding it. Let's face it, if you're still using dial-up or willfully ignoring reality, this is more than simply a catchphrase. It's a statement that the Fever has escalated and that smoke signals are being sent from the summit of the mountain.
I saw this thread on Twitter. I was shocked by it. I was pleasantly shocked and surprised. I thought it was so cool and so savage.
The trailer began with a message that didn't whisper but rather yelled, "We're not here to chase greatness, we're here to claim it." It was so polished that it might have passed for a Nike commercial. Not even a little bit subtle, it was a visual flex that landed like a mic drop in Madison Square Garden. The trailer did more than just hype the fans. It warned everyone else. This wasn't just a feel-good fan video. It was a verbal smackdown directed directly at the critics, skeptics, and every salty hater who downplayed what Clark and the Fever did last year. The entire Now You Know campaign is based on one indisputable fact. The Fever are the main event, and no longer the undercard. Every basketball game is now a roaming Indiana Fever takeover thanks to Caitlin Clark. Whether it's a home game, a road game, or a match in the middle of nowhere, Clark fans turn up like it's a Taylor Swift stadium tour with a statement that is equal parts swagger and statistical fact. The trailer embraces that reality. Because our supporters don't ask for permission to dominate, our road games sound like home games. If you've watched the scenes from the previous season, you know that the opposition venues weren't just packed. Clark Nation invaded them.
Now, what I also think is hilarious is that they took that a step further. So if you go to the team store, the Indiana Fever's team store, you will see that they have a brand new t-shirt that they are selling. And that t-shirt says, "Every game is a home game." And then on the back, it says, "Now you know," with a sold out banner with all of their basically schedule. It's like a tour t-shirt and it says every game is a home game.
Road domination is quantifiable chaos rather than hype. It was like the Beatles touring in sneakers and headbands. And guess what year 2 is doubling down on that mania? The Fever hasn't broken, it's spreading. Opponent teams literally had to call in backup, moving games to larger venues just to handle the surge of fans desperate to catch a glimpse of Caitlin. The entire city's economies were likely impacted, hotels were booked up, parking lots overflowed, and scalpers wept with joy.